Good afternoon, my dear learners. It's a bright afternoon, and we have come to lesson 5 of this week 1. We need to thank God for He has kept us alive during this COVID era, and you need to spare time during the course of the day and worship and glorify the mighty Lord. Boys and girls, without wasting time, it is still Global Junior School. With us, the subject is mathematics. Primary 6 is the class. Topic fractions. And today we are going to handle a certain part known as mixed operations on fractions. Mixed operations on fractions. If you are given more than one sign in fractions, how can you handle them? That's where we are. Remember, in lesson 4, we handled division of fractions, and I hope everybody got everything all right. There we go. Mixed operations on fractions. Let's try to recall the mnemonic of BODMAS, because in this subtopic, it's BODMAS which is going to govern us in each and every number. It's that mnemonic of BODMAS which shows the order in which operations must be handled. Therefore, what does letter B represent? It represents brackets. Fine, represents brackets. And the brackets are shown there. Good. What about O? Letter O represents of. And in our previous lessons, the lesson we had about multiplication of fractions, we say that of will be replaced by multiplication sign. Let's go to letter D. What does letter D represent? Letter D represents division. Letter D represents division, and the division sign is there. And then let's move on to the next letter. That's letter M, which is representing multiplication. Letter M represents multiplication, and the multiplication sign is there. Well, then letter A represents addition. Letter A represents addition, and the addition sign is there. Letter S represents subtraction. The subtraction sign is there. Now, when you are dealing with mixed operations, the order in which operations must be handled, must be calculated, must be followed, are compressed in a mnemonic known as BODMAS. Let's go. Let's have example 1. There we are. Simplify a half times a third divided by a quarter. I repeat, simplify a half times a third divided by a quarter. Now, when you look at this number given to us, remember I told you we are supposed to follow the order of BODMAS. Now, out of all the letters that make up the word BODMAS, which operations have they given us in this number? Yes, can someone tell us out there? Yes, Lutakumi Morgan, share with us. Which signs are you seeing in this number, in this example 1? Yes, please. Thank you. It is multiplication and division. Multiplication and division. But now, if you consider BODMAS, which of the two operations should come first? That is division. Therefore, where there is division, those two fractions which are having that division sign must be put in brackets to show that you are going to begin with division. All right. Those brackets indicate that we are starting with division. Therefore, we are going to first divide a third by a quarter. But remember, don't forget that even this a half with its multiplication sign should also come. It should come. Only that where brackets are is where we are going to concentrate first. Meaning that, remember, yesterday we looked at division of fractions, whereby that division sign is replaced by a multiplication sign. You can see that. And then the last fraction changes upside down. In other words, you get the reciprocal of the last fraction. That number that has been the denominator becomes the numerator, and that one that has been the numerator becomes the denominator. Remember, reciprocal is the same as multiplicative inverse. Therefore, boys and girls, after reaching this step where we are, a half times a third times 4 out of 1, where we have reached is real multiplication of fractions. But before you multiply, are there denominators that can reduce some numerators? Yes. Which denominators are those? Which denominator can reduce a certain numerator? You mentioned for us the denominator and then that numerator it can reduce. Someone out there who is going to discuss with us. Yes, Masongole Lina. Masongole Lina. Yes, daughter. Denominator 2, right? And numerator 4. Thank you. Thank you so much. So realize that, boys and girls, 2 divided by 2, you get 1. What about 4 divided by 2? What do you get? You'll get 2. Therefore, after that, let's multiply all the numerators alone and the denominators alone. There we go. That is multiplication. Multiplication comes in. You multiply numerators alone, 1 times 1 times 2. Divide by, even denominators, multiply them. 1 times 3 times 1. 1 times 1 times 2, the result is 2. Out of 1 times 3 times 1, you'll get result 3. Meaning that our answer is 2/3. Our final answer there is 2 out of 3. Since there is no factor that can reduce 2 and 3, that marks the end of our example 1. And I hope at this time, members are trying to jot down what's on their screen. Try to jot down what's on your screen so that we can continue. Mixed operations, it's a mixture. They have put together different signs in fractions. And for you, you are supposed to simplify. You are supposed to work out. But now the question is, which operation should come according to BODMAS? That's what we are basically looking at today. And at this time, allow me push on to example 2. Wow. Example 2. Example 2. There we are. That's our example 2. Let's read together. Let's read together. Are you ready, my dear children? Good. Work out 3/4 times, open brackets, 2/3 minus a half, close brackets. Work out 3 out of 4 times, open brackets, 2/3 minus a half, close brackets. There we are. How can we correctly answer example 2? Remember, we are supposed to follow the mnemonic of BODMAS. It's the mnemonic of BODMAS which is supposed to guide us. But now when you look at this example, it has got brackets already. And brackets, that's the first letter. Meaning that what is inside brackets must be first worked upon before you handle anything else. Let's first work out what's inside the brackets before we go on other operations. Right. Meaning that now we are going to first concentrate on the brackets that have been put in the question. And there is subtraction. There is subtraction. You are supposed to have 2/3 take away a half. So we are first of all concentrating on what's inside the brackets, meaning that as we are subtracting, we are supposed to look for the lowest common multiple. Lowest common multiple of the denominators. Remember, the first denominator is 3 and the second one is 2. First denominator 3 and the second denominator 2. Therefore, let's try to subtract these fractions. And the LCM, in those previous classes, you have been getting the LCM by listing multiples. But now let's try to advance. Let's try to get the LCM using prime factorization. Let's prime factorize 3 and 2. I'm going to use a ladder whereby you're having 3 and 2. Now ask yourself, what smallest prime number can divide is either 3 or 2, if not both? Is there a prime number, the smallest prime number, that can divide either 3 or 2? But remember, prime numbers include 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, to mention but a few. Now, out of all those prime numbers, what smallest prime number, the smallest, the least prime number, that can divide either 3 or 2? Someone is ready to share with us. Yes, Barak, Joshua. Yes, Barak. 2. Thank you so much. The smallest prime number that can divide either 3 or 2 is 2. Therefore, 2 divided by 2, what do you get? You get 1. What about 3 divided by 2? Remember, 3 is not exactly divisible by 2. Therefore, in such a situation, what do? We maintain 3. I've said we maintain 3. And as we maintain 3, it means that now we are going to look for the prime number that can completely divide these 3. Therefore, the smallest prime number that can completely divide 3 is 3. And then 1 divided by 3. 1 is not exactly divisible by 3. Therefore, maintain it. What about 3 divided by 3? You'll get result 1. How do you get the LCM then? How do you get the LCM? Multiply the prime factors. Those ones I've circled. I've put a ring on those prime factors. So 2 times 3, you'll get the LCM as 6. You get the LCM as 6. Let's now continue and see. Get the LCM 6 divided by 3. But which 3 have you used? Which 3 have you used? It's this one here. It's this one here. So 6 divided by 3, you've got result 2. And then, next step. Get 6 divided by 2. That's the second denominator. Second denominator. Wow. What do you get, boys and girls? Yes, you'll get 3. Good. You'll get 3. So after that, let's continue. Maintain the fraction which is outside, that is 3/4. And now inside the brackets, we are getting the first numerator of the fraction which is inside the brackets, that's 2. Multiply it with 2. Which 2? That result, the first result you got out of division. Then take away second numerator 1, multiply it with 3. But which 3 are you multiplying there? That second result you got from division. I hope we are together. Make everything out of the lowest common multiple, which is 6. Next step, maintain 3/4, then times. 2 times 2. Who can give us the answer? 2 times 2? Yes, that's 4. Take away 1 times 3, automatically that's 3. But remember, everything is out of the LCM. Let's still move on. We shall get our 3 quarters. We maintain it. Multiply it with 4 minus 3. It gives us result 1 out of 6. There we are. Boys and girls, after reaching there, which operation are you having? Automatically, that's multiplication. But first reduce. When you look at the first numerator 3, can divide the second denominator, which is 6. Therefore, 3 divided by 3 will get result 1. What about 6 divided by 6 divided by 3? What do you get? You'll get 2. Boys and girls, you'll get 2. You'll get 2. And I hope members can complete that. Meaning that 1 times 1 gives us 1 out of 4 times 2, it will give us 8. 4 times 2, it will give us 8. Meaning that our final answer is 1 out of 8. Everybody complete that. I'm not completing it for you. Everyone complete that on your own. Very good. At this time, boys and girls, write what is on your screen. Write what's on your screen so that we can push on to example 3. I hope everybody's writing. Yes, everybody's writing. Next step, we are going to have another example. We are going to have another example within 1 minute from now and see how we can go about mixed operations on fractions. Let's go. Our example 3. There it is. Work out a half of a third divided by 4/5. I repeat. Work out a half of a third divided by 4/5. Now, when you look at this number, the operations we are having, according to BODMAS, we are having of and division. But now the question is, of the two, according to the order of BODMAS, which one should be handled first? Automatically, that is of. Meaning that in this number, where that word of is, those fractions must be put in brackets. Why are we introducing brackets here? To show that we are beginning with that operation. Thank you. We are beginning with that operation. But remember, I'm going to ask someone, which sign must substitute the word of? I hope you're ready to answer that. Which sign must substitute the word of? Of must be substituted by, yes, Karina? Karina, speak to us. Multiplication, so nice. This is such a wonderful class. I love it. I love this class. So boys and girls, that word of must be substituted by a multiplication sign, as you can see in the next step. So this means that we are having a half times a third. A half times a third. Good. Then divide by 4 out of 5. Next, let's multiply numerators alone in that. 1 times 1 out of 2 times 3. Don't forget to bring divide by 4 out of 5. 1 times 1 we shall get 1. Out of 2 times 3 is 6. Divide by 4 out of 5. Divide by 4 out of 5. There we are. It's rare division of fractions. Remember, we are supposed to apply reciprocal. But as reciprocal comes in, remember that division sign changes to a multiplication sign. And then the last fraction changes upside down. Right? That's why you're seeing the fraction which has been 4 out of 5 has changed to 5 out of 4. This is multiplicative inverse. Remember, multiplicative inverse is the same as reciprocal. Having reached this step, boys and girls, it's now multiplication. It has become multiplication of fractions, whereby we shall multiply numerators alone. 1 times 5 out of denominators must also be multiplied alone. 6 times 4. 1 times 5, what do you get? 5 out of 6 times 4. It's 24. And that marks the end of our example 3. We need to exhaust. Remember, now we have been looking at examples whereby 2 operations have been given. What about if we are given more than 2 operations? That's going to be our last example, and to be example 4. So boys and girls, first jot down that example 3 so that we can quickly push on to example 4. We are going to have more than 2 operations, and we shall see how it's handled. You are such nice children. I love the way you are participating. Yeah, at least almost everyone is responding. Everyone is attentive. Remember, you are semi-candidates, meaning that next year you'll be going to a candidate class. That attention is so paramount. Thank you so much. So boys and girls, let's look at our example 4. Example 4. There we are. Work out a half times 4 and 2 out of 5 minus a third times 6 and 1 out of 5. There we are. They are different operations. I can see multiplication. I can see subtraction. I can see multiplication again. Yes. How can we answer such a number? Remember, we are supposed to be governed by the order of BODMAS. We are supposed to be governed by the order of BODMAS. There we are. Boys and girls, first step, change every mixed number you are seeing in that question to an improper fraction. Remember, one of the mixed numbers we are having here is 4 and 2 out of 5. Then another mixed number we are having is 6 and 1 out of 5. The first step is first of all to change those mixed numbers to improper fractions. Remember, for you to change a mixed number to an improper fraction, you should have denominator times whole number plus numerator out of the denominator. Therefore, if we are to begin with the first mixed number, someone out there must change for us the first mixed number to an improper fraction. I know this is primarily for work, changing mixed numbers to improper fractions. Someone who is ready? Who is ready? Someone's ready? Yes, Nabosa. My daughter Nabosa. Change for us 4 and 2 out of 5 to an improper fraction. Yes, Nabosa? Thank you so much. 22 out of 5. That's great. 22 out of 5. 22 out of 5. Good. The improper fraction of 4 and 2/5 is 22 out of 5. Thank you. Let me give a chance to another person to change for us. 6, the second mixed number here in the question. 6 and 1 out of 5 to an improper fraction. Yes, someone is getting ready. Aguta Gerald. Yes, Aguta Gerald. Can you change for us 6 and 1 out of 5 to an improper fraction? Yes, Gerald. Gerald, speak up. Good. That 1 out of 5. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my son. That's that 1 out of 5. So that 1 out of 5 is the improper fraction for 6 and a fifth. Don't forget, now let's substitute in. We have substituted in, and you realize that when you substitute in, you look at the operations or the signs in the question. There is multiplication, there is subtraction, and another multiplication. And according to the order of BODMAS, multiplication should come first. But remember, there are 2 groups where you are supposed to multiply. Therefore, those groups have been identified using brackets. Those 2 groups have been identified using brackets. But now when you look at the first group, there are people who would wish to reduce. But we can still go ahead. Multiplication of fractions. Multiply numerators alone and denominators alone. For the first group, don't forget, take away. Even the second group, multiply numerators alone and denominators alone. There we go. 1 times 22, it will give us 22 out of 2 times 5. That's 10. Wow, great. Then, next one. 1 times 31 is 31 out of 3 times 5. That is 15. Now, having reached at that step, subtraction of fractions has come in. But remember that 2 fractions we are having, 22 out of 10, take away 31 out of 15, they are having different denominators. Those 2 fractions are having different denominators. Therefore, what are we supposed to do? Someone has whispered to me, yes, let's find the LCM. Good. Let's find the lowest common denominator. If you don't call it lowest common denominator LCD, you can call it lowest common multiple. Since these ones are fractions, you can as well call it lowest common denominator. Thank you. LCM of the denominators. Remember, the first denominator is 10 and the second one is 15. Now we go back and ask ourselves, what smallest prime number can divide either 10 or 15? Yes, the smallest prime number is 2. Thank you so much. Then 10 divided by 2, you'll get result 5. What about 15 divided by 2? 15 is not exactly divisible by 2. Therefore, maintain 15. Now still ask yourself, go back to the list of prime numbers, which is 2, 3, 5, 7, 13, and so on. Out of that list, what smallest prime number can divide either 5 or 15? Yes, that's 3. Thank you. 3. So 15 divided by 3, you get 5. And then 5 divided by 3, you'll get 5 because 5 is not exactly divisible by 3. So you maintain that 5. Good. Still, ask yourself, what smallest prime number can divide 5? Automatically, boys and girls, that's 5. So 5 divided by 5, result is 1. And 5 divided by 5, the result is 1. How do you get the LCM or LCD? By multiplying the prime factors. The prime factors are there. So that is 2 times 3 times 5. 2 times 3, it will give us 6 times 5, giving us the LCD as 30. Lowest common denominator is 30, or the LCM. Now, next step. Get the LCM, 30, divide by the first denominator, 10. What will you get? You'll get 3. Good. Then, still LCM, 30, divide by the second denominator, which is 15. Yes, What will you get? You'll get result 2. You'll get result 2. Then in the next step, get the first numerator, which is 22, times these 3 here. The first result you got out of division. Wow. Then second numerator, 31, multiply it with 2, which is the second result, the second quotient. But in between, remember there is subtraction. Next, can someone multiply for us 22 times 3? What do you get? 22 times 3, someone has given a chorus answer that it's 66. Thank you. 66, but avoid chorus answers. Avoid chorus answers. Yes, we shall get 66. Take away 31 times 2 is none other than 62. Thereafter, subtract. 66 take away 62. What's the result? What's the difference? Can someone speak to us? Can someone speak to us? Yes, please, Balaba. Balaba? 4. Thank you so much. Boys and girls, we shall get 4 out of 30. But remember, before you conclude, is there a factor that can reduce 4 and 30? Is there a factor that can divide 4 and 30? Yes. Which factor is that? 2. Thank you so much. So, let's reduce 4 divided by 2. The result is 2. What about 30 divided by 2? The result is 15. Thank you so much. So our final answer there is 2 out of 15. Boys and girls, that marks the end of our lesson 5, and we have concluded our week. Remember, tomorrow is Saturday and we do not have lessons. Saturday is your day of resting. We shall resume with lessons on Monday. And remember, corrections for today's lesson, we shall make them on Monday. And on Monday, our first lesson is at 8:30 a.m. Boys and girls, you're going to get the activity for this work from the school website. It's already uploaded, even though you just go and tap in it now. If you try to check there, it's already there. May the Almighty Lord bless you. Stay home, stay safe. Bye-bye.